Alright, hello class. This is Mr. Raj. We'll be going over our pre-calculus test, specifically how to write a quadratic formula and how to graph equations. So let's first go over what the quadratic formula is. Now, one second. My dog is actually giving me a lot of love here. Alright, the quadratic formula is minus b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So the letters that we see to plug in this is A, B, and C. So let's have a sample formula. We'll write a sample formula here. 5x squared minus 2x plus 2. And we're going to write this in the quadratic formula. We'll set it to 0. Now, what you'll notice is this is already in the quadratic, easy for us to put into the quadratic formula because the exponents are going from 2 here, as you see, 2 to 1 to nothing. So keep that in mind. But anyway, in the quadratic formula, we're just worried about the whole number, such as 5, negative 2, and positive 2. So 5 will be our A. Well, if 5 will be our A, so A equals 5. B will be our negative 2. And C will be positive 2. Now let's plug this into the quadratic formula. So the quadratic formula is negative B, which we'll plug in just now, square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2 times a. Let's plug in the rest of the numbers. So our b will be negative 2. I'll just put that in parentheses so we won't be confused. B squared is negative 2 squared minus 4ac. Our a would be 5. And our c is 2. And our a for 2a is 5. So now we'll just simplify it. And a negative times negative 2 becomes regular 2 minus the square root of negative 2 to the second power, or squared, is 4 minus 4 times 5 is 20. 20 times 2 is 40 over 10. If we simplify it further, we get 2 minus 30 over 10. So that will be our answer for now. You could simplify it further, but we will not worry about that. Let's do another example. Once again, let's write down our quadratic formula, which is 1b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And the sample formula we'll write is, we'll use 5x squared. We'll use minus x again, plus 4. So we just have to plug this in. What are a, b, and c are? Well, our a will be 5. We're just worrying about the whole numbers. 5. We don't have to worry about the unknowns. So for here, since we have x and not a number, negative x is the same thing as saying negative 1. If it's a positive x, it's just x, so which will be 1. So the answer here is negative 1. Alright? If it was a plus x, it would just be 1. But since there's a negative x, it's negative 1. And our c will be 4. Now we just have to plug in the numbers. So we have minus plus minus square root of squared minus 4 over 2 times a. Our b will be negative 1. I'm sorry about my poor parentheses, minus 1. And our b squared will be negative 1 squared. Minus 4ac, our a will be 5. And our c is 4. Times 2a, our a will be 5. Now we simplify. Negative 1 times a negative is well 1. Plus minus 1 squared, which is negative 1 squared, which is 1. Minus 4 times 5, which is 20. 20 times 4 is 80. 20 times 4 is 80, yes. Over 2 times 5, which is 10. If we simplify it further, we get 1 plus minus 79 over 80. Excuse me. Over 10. So that's our answer. And that is our review over the quadratic formula. Now, in the problems given, I gave the next problem I gave was 2x plus y equals 9. So we'll go over one problem or something similar. Let's use, for the sake of example, we'll use 3x minus 2y equals 9. So we'll write our x and y coordinates over here. We're trying to figure out what our x and y's will be. And for sake of humor, we'll try to figure out what our y's are. So for x's, we'll have 1, 0, and negative 1. You can choose whatever numbers you want. The 1, 0, and negative 1 we'll use. So let's plug it in for x. So we have 3 times, we're using positive 1 here for x, minus 2y equals 9. 3 times 1 is 3 minus 2y equals 9. We need to get rid of that 3, so we need to get rid of the number 3. The way to do that is we need to add the reciprocal, or the opposite, of of 3 to both sides. And the opposite of 3 is negative 3. So when we add negative 3 here, and negative 3 here, our answer will be minus 2y equals 6. What we have to do now is to get rid of that negative 2y, or to get rid of the negative 2. So what I'll do is I'll multiply both sides by, well, let's say 1/2 times 1/2. The reason why I chose that is because 2y is the same thing as saying 2 times y over 1, right? And we're just multiplying these terms. So in order to get rid of this 2y, or this 2, specifically the 2, we have to multiply by the inverse, which is 1 over 2. I hope you all see that. Now, this 2y cancels, and this becomes 1 over 3 over 1 actually. So now the answer we're left with is negative y equals 3. Now we'll just switch the signs by multiplying negative 1 to each side, and we get the answer y equals negative 3. So the answer for this is negative 3. But we're not done with the problem. Now we have to do the same thing for 0. So let's plug in our numbers. 3 times our x will be 0 minus 2y equals 9. 3 times 0 is 0, so we're left with 2y equals 9. We have to do the same thing, and this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply by negative 1/2 this time to get rid of the negative at one time. Times negative 1/2. What happens here is the minuses drop out, and we're left with the 2's drop out. Now we're left with y equals negative 9/2. Or, to simplify it, we're left with 2 divided by 9, negative 9 rather. The answer will be negative. And we get, well, let's see what we get. Negative 4.5. Negative 4.5. Now we will try to solve for the last number, which is negative 1. We have 3 times negative 1 minus 2y equals 9. Negative 3 times negative 1 is negative 3 minus 2y equals 9. We just have to add 3 to both sides. Add positive 3 here. Add positive 3 here. And we're left with negative 2y equals 12. Multiply each side by negative 1/2. By negative 1/2. And the negatives cross cancel and the whole number cross cancels. This cross cancels to 1/6, but it doesn't cross out the negative. Now we're left with y equals negative 6. Put that down here. Now, if we were to graph the equation, what will we have? So let me try to draw this. This is our x-axis and our y-axis. 0 be in the center. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And for our y, we'll go up to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now our x is 1, which will be here, and our y is negative 3, which is down 3. So 1, 2, 3. So this will be our first spot. Our x is 0 for the next number, and our y is negative 4.5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 is here, so ours is negative 4.5, which is somewhere around here. Our next is negative 1 and negative 6, which is down about here. So the line, if we were to draw it, goes this way. Alright. So another problem that you may find difficult to understand seems difficult but is not is example is y equals 4. Write down our xy table. Basically what this is indicating is no matter what y equals, no matter what y is, it will always equal to 4, or x will always equal to 4. So I chose negative 1, etc. Now, if we do a different formula, such as, let's say we have our x equals 2. Once again, if we write our x and y table, x and y, our x equals 2. So no matter what we have for y, no matter what we have for x, y will always equal 2. So whether it be 1, negative 1, or 0, y will always equal 2. So on the same graph, we're going to draw both. Same graph, we'll draw both. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll do the y equals 4. So the number will be 4. X will always be 4. So our y is -1, 0, and 1. So basically it draws a line this way. Now for the one in red, x is, well, y is always going to be our 2. We have x being 1, y being 1. We have y being -1, and we have x being, and we have x being 0. So we end up with the line going this way and this way. And the last question is determining whether this is a function or is this a function. So with your research, I won't go over that, but you can look it over and find out and tell me what you think